Tom Brady having an ownership stake in the NFL team isn't surprising, but the Raiders? Welcome to the SEO Show. This week, we're discussing how one of the meanest, toughest teams from yesteryear went soft by letting a guy who owned them, own them. Tom Brady had a 6-1 record against the Raiders in his career, but having an advantage like that over one franchise isn't enough to own them. You need something else, like a back-breaking playoff defeat due to a rule nobody even knew about. Roll the tape.
Lost the football. It's on the ground, covered by the Raiders.
The quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete.
Go ahead. Fumble. Or, in this case, tuck rule.
Yep. Tom Brady's run of winning 7 Super Bowls and the Patriots' 20-year dominance started all because of a rule that didn't make sense at the expense of the Raiders. And they still let him buy an ownership stake in their franchise. Jack Tatum is somewhere rolling over in his grave. Ironically, this isn't the first time Brady has been tied to ownership. There was that thing with Miami, who he was 24-12 against, that led to Dolphins owner Stephen Ross getting suspended and fined for some supposed plan that was in place to get Brady to retire, be a minority owner, then step down and wind up being the Dolphins starting QB. But let's get back to the Raiders, because there's more. The internet had a field day when Brady was on The Shop talking about a certain franchise and a certain QB, as people assumed that he was talking about Raiders quarterback Derek Carr.
There was a story in free agency. One of the teams, they were interested, and all of a sudden they weren't interested at the very end. I was sitting there thinking, you're sticking with that motherfucker? Are you serious?
Tom probably had no desire to go to that team, but now it's like, why don't you want me?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. When I look back, I'm like, there's no fucking way I would have went to that team. But they said they didn't want me, and I know what that means. I know what that feels like, and I'm gonna fuck you up because of that.
And now, after all that, Tom Brady joins George Halas and Jerry Richardson as the only 3 players in NFL history to be an owner. Well, that's according to Raiders owner Mark Davis. And that's the same guy who once signed John Gruden to a 10-year, $100 million coaching contract. My name is Carron Phillips, and thanks for watching the SEO Show. Here's to Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. for still finding yet another way to stick it to the silver and black.